I guess, codes have been, pretty much honouring what's happened on Friday. In particular, I guess it all kind of started Friday night when the Hurricanes went up against the Chiefs, and of course it was really a very poignant moment and so fitting. I think that they, were all encircled at the same time, showing a bit of solidarity, in particular going out to the people in Christchurch, eh?
Yeah, you're right, and that's it. And that's what we need to do at this time, Keith, is come together. We need to unite as one, kotahitanga, and be as one as well. Great to see that happen right throughout a whole lot of sports, not only here in our country with the footy on Friday night down in Hamilton, but I also saw the V8 supercars.
Yes.
All the drivers came out,
yes.
and they did a somber moment there as well, and a minute's silence. But to have that reflected in most sports throughout the weekend yesterday, the minute silence and all the codes and everything just shows as a country and how balanced we are and how we remember and reflect on that sad time on Friday afternoon. And, the security, as I said, went into the Warriors, and it was like going through customs. And that's just the way it's going to be, I would guess, these days. And it may ease off a little bit, obviously, because the country currently in the state of what it is at the high at the moment still today on a Sunday on high alert. So, yeah, and it was good. It was good to see the teams come together as one. They mix and mingle, the Hurricanes and the Chiefs, and, just to do it because the country's more stronger than the game that was going to be played on Saturday, even though it was a draw. But, we just come together, and that's the way we need to be at this moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I completely agree with you because we do need to show a bit of solidarity for sure, to show that, we certainly are behind. We will, and I guess Jacinda actually, I guess the words "they are us" has kind of come up and been put through social media because they certainly are, and just some of the words that she's been able to express and the feelings that she's been able to express herself, pretty much. I think is the sentiment that most New Zealanders would feel, eh, Rino?
Yeah, totally. Look, when she went into Parliament and took over the PM role, she was always going to be said the people's person. That's what her party was going to be based on, was all about the people. And she's really stepped up to the mark and delivered that at this current moment with this situation. So she's out there for the people, for the community. She treats everyone all as one as such. And hey, she's got a tough job ahead of herself, and we can reflect that through any avenue we can over these next few days. Doesn't have to be just sport, just through, I reckon, schools. You wait till you see the schools tomorrow, schools that have assemblies that'll be starting. It is going to be interesting over the next few days, and the togetherness of the country is how we'll get through. We did it years ago when Christchurch got shook all up. They come together, the country supported as well. I do know, I'm aware of a Give a Little page as well, financial assistance.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of help needed for the sufferers down there in Christchurch, and whatever anyone can do, they will be appreciative. We don't have to be like that dickhead senator over in Queensland, all that type of stuff, he's just an idiot. But for us here in our country, it just shows how strong we are, and you got to give respect where it's due, mate, and take your head up to those who are doing their little bit, because it is going to be tough times ahead.
About 4 million, I think, has currently been raised. I remember seeing that somewhere on social media there, Rino.
Yeah. So it just tells you the generosity of the country. And, like I said, up at the Warriors game yesterday, they made the game all free. Everything that was financially contributed in any way it was through the game yesterday. I think it was nearly 19,000 people there. That's all going to go back financially, gifted by the leagueies of the Warriors and given back to Christchurch. So great to see that. I know we'll talk about the game that was cancelled, and understandable. The Crusaders and the Highlanders totally understand that.
Yes.
Into any other event that was postponed, cancelled. Yeah,
yep.
You can totally understand that.
Yep. The cricket as well, that was cancelled.
Yep, exactly. At the Bangladesh, look, they were looking just about ready to go and enter into the mosque.
Yes, exactly.
Only minutes away from that, and who knows what would have happened. You imagine that on New Zealand cricket if you'd lost a national team. Well, you most surely would have in that state, but very, very lucky. And yeah. Oh well, I know you want to get into sports eventually. We'll get there.
Hey, if we do, we do. Well, I'll just real quick, Raa, Jacinda Ardern, what have you thought of her, what she's been able to convey to the world, I guess?
That good little cliche, Casey, the sign of a good leader is not how they react when times are good and great, but how they are when the chips are down and things aren't going too well. That's a sign of a good leader, and I think her true colours have come out. She's been strong and defiant, and and what she said has sort of meant a lot to a lot of Kiwis, and that just shows that sadly, under her reign as PM, she is a very competent leader, and trial and then tested, sadly. But no, I think so far so good, and she needs to be. Me personally, I wouldn't mind it if she showed a bit of emotion. That's the humanity in all of us. Even I shed a bit of a tear. I don't usually cry. I think the last time I cried or sorts was when they played the anthem at the Rugby World Cup for the All Blacks and we won it. But when you hear of fatalities with kids and old people, I think we can all relate to that. Could be one of our own. And sad just watching Len Peneha on TV. I wonder if he's related to the Peneha whānau here. If he is, they should be quite proud of him.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. But, your Chiefs, though. They still have yet to notch a win, but at least they didn't lose on Friday, eh?
Oh, I've got to be honest, Keithy, I haven't, as most, I haven't been keeping up with the sports. But one thing I did sort of notice was that that Sri Lankan cricket team, wow, they were within the vicinity. They were going to the same place. So they would have been quite shocked. But my other team, the Landers and the Crusaders, their game was cancelled for good reason, as were a lot of other sporting codes. But I didn't see my Chiefs, Keithy. I assume they lost against your team.
No, it was a draw.
Oh, it was a draw.
23.
But one thing I think my Warriors had a win.
Your Warriors, eh? They did.
The best thing about it was they opened up the gates for free.
Yes.
For, given what's happened. So, yeah.
Now, we'll start it off at the beginning there. And, of course, the NRL kicked off on Thursday night. And it would have been a beautiful day for you, at least, that day, if we can reminisce about it there, JT. The Storm coming away with a very solid win, didn't they?
Mate, they looked like world beaters in the first sort of 20 minutes, though, just running rampant across the Broncos. And the big boys, Jesse Bromwich and Nelson Asofa Solomona, he was just caning them. But as happens with rugby league, the pendulum swings back, people get tired, and the other team gets a bit of a sniff, and the Broncos, to their credit, sort of brought it back to within a converted try. And then thankfully the Storm boys ran out 22 points to 12 to make it 16 round one games in a row that they've got to win, which is quite an astounding record, really. But the Broncos got a bit of a long way to go. They've just got no guidance in their half. I think Cody Nicolima and certainly Anthony Milford is well out of their depth. The Broncos look like a rudderless ship the other night at times, and good to see the Storm back. Jerome Hughes at fullback ran for over 200 metres. He's a more than worthy replacement for the great Billy Slater. Cam Munster's back to his best. Young Brandon Smith came on and ran that little cannonball that he is. So, very happy with the season opener on Thursday night, boys.
Indeed, you would have been. Indeed. It was a great start, obviously, for the Storm. Another great start, of course, was the Warriors, Reno?
Yeah, good start yesterday at home, and it was a big day up there for the Warriors. It was all about the old boys. So you had some of the guys going way back to day one making an appearance, and good to see all the old names come on through, be part of the crowd, and a mix and mingle of photos, everything like that. It was a huge day because this year they mark and celebrate the 25th anniversary of the Warriors franchise since 1995. They had all sorts going up there, mate, aside from making the free entrance yesterday. They had a whole lot going up there. They had everything from golf, chances to win Suzukis and Mazdas.
Wow.
A new sponsor on board, but the team is Mazda, so they're giving away a car or a truck every game now at home. And trips overseas. So they are marketing well on the anniversary of 25 years. Hey, look, you can buy a members ticket. I think I might touched on this at $95. Why $95? $19.95 when the team started. So you can get 10 home games at only $95. Real cheap as you don't get that really anywhere. And it's just not about getting bums on seats. It's just about reflecting on the 25 years they've been around. But a good win, going back to the game, a great win. Traditionally, the Warriors sometimes falter. Forget about last year, 5 in a row. This is a new year. And the Doggies have everything to play for. But, you know, mate, I'm not talking to you on Wednesday. I was a bit iffy on the centre pairing. Yeah. And I actually said to you, I remember saying this, the Doggies would most likely get over the Warriors.
Yes.
But I didn't see this big scoreline coming. And the halves, Blake Green just conducted everything. And Kieran in the back there at 6. And, yeah, they look like a good team. But I won't jump into my say, yeah, we're going to make it to the final, because I know you and I want to go to because JT's going to pay for it. But yeah, it was a good start, mate. Good start for Steve Kearney and everyone. And, yeah.
It was certainly...
You know, next week we've got Campbelltown, we've got the Tigers. And I see they had a good game in very, very weak conditions up against the Sea Eagles and had a good win as well.
Sadly, I was unable to, because we were broadcasting down at the Relay for Life yesterday, I was unable to watch any of the game, and I haven't even been able to catch any of the highlights either. But I see that our young halfback obviously accounted himself pretty well.
Yeah, definitely, you know, and he played to his strengths. We finally got a ringer in the team, so we've got another ginger there, and it's just good to see. And you look at the other guys going forward. The forwards went hard out. The Pacific Island boys, all of them just ran hard out. Nathaniel Roach, good to see him back after some massive injury in his career. Been around for a couple of years now, but to see him out there. Look, Bully Luke, Isaac, Bully will be back next week. And, yeah, bring on next week. We got through this little hurdle and in front of a pretty full house, you know, good vocal crowd and a lot of Warriors supporters. And what a great way to start the season for those in his 25th year. So a great result. Heaps of tries. Good to see Kim Mamolo catch the ball and hold on. And no, it was just all around a good team effort. That's all I can say. It was a team effort.
Yeah. And that's what we'll need for the remainder of the season, eh?
Oh, totally. But, you know, that one word me and Raa know it. Consistency. So we'll see what happens, eh?
What you going to say, joke?
I really said it. But, you know, I enjoyed watching the Knights game. It was only an intercept try to see Sean Johnson out there playing for the Sharkies. The game I also enjoyed was the Rabbits have a good win over the Roosters. And, yeah, watched a bit of footy. And the Cowboys beat the Dragons.
Yeah. What do you reckon? We'll start off with you, JT, about the Knights Sharks game.
Very happy with that result, Keith. We have a competition over here, which I'm in, called the Last Fan Standing. So you get to pick one team from every round that you think will go through to the following round. And if they lose, you're bummed out. And if you win, you go to the next round. So I took the Knights based on a bit of a hunch. Just want to give a shout-out to young Britton McCorder, who made his debut for the Sharks. He played a bit of footy here on the Gold Coast at Kiefer Park and at the Narang Roosters. My son's mate, so he went all right. I don't think he did anything too wrong. He saved a couple of good tries there with a couple of good tackles. But yeah, no, happy for the Knights. They've got some big signings and very staunch rugby league areas. Newcastle, of course, they won the wooden spoon for 3 seasons in a row. So happy to see them back in the winners' circle. Equally as happy to see the Roosters get beaten. That's my least favourite team, the Roosters. And I don't mind the Rabbits. And last night, the old Dad's Army boys from the Tigers, Robbie Farah and Benji Marshall, wound the clock back and helped their side to win 20 points to 6. Robbie Farah grabbed a double. And Benji Marshall, interestingly enough, who thought he was only going to be signed as an assistant to help out the halves, has kept the Tigers' big signing from last season, Josh Reynolds, out of the top 17. So, yeah, big losses there to the Bulldogs and Manly. And I think you can say it right now, after only one game, those two sides won't feature in the finals. Bulldogs and Manly, they look woeful as equally as good as the Warriors looked pretty awesome. The Bulldogs looked total crap.
Must be very true there, eh? Right, what about the Cowboys-Dragons game there, JT?
Yeah, good to see a new era dawn for the Cowboys without the great man Thurston. I think Michael Morgan has filled the breach admirably. He missed a fair chunk of last season through injury, so he hit the ground running. And also good to see big Matty Scott back to full fitness and Jordan McLean. They've got a pretty good forward pack. They've got Josh McGuire.